We're discussing about drug liberation, and hopefully we will even get in a little bit of drug absorption and bioavailability. Alright. So first of all, coming to drug liberation, yesterday I told you a brief picture or a brief outlook of what drug liberation is. Right? It is a process in which the drug is literally getting liberated into smaller particles so that it can get absorbed easily. Right? The idea behind it is that let's suppose you are giving a solid particle or solid drug like a tablet. Once you give a solid drug, it will first be broken down into smaller components, smaller particles. Those components or those particles will be solubilized and then it will be absorbed inside your body. Right? And depending on different types of formulation you give, drug liberation can vary quite a lot. And there are a few factors that will influence drug liberation as such. Formulation is a big part of it, but not the only part. All right. First of all, coming to factors influencing drug liberation. Remember, liberation is the process in which the drug is only entering into your body and breaking down in such a way that it can get absorbed easily. It is not the process of absorption. This is what is occurring before absorption and after you take the drug. All right. Absorption is when the drug in particle form is getting solubilized and it is entering into your systemic circulation. Okay. Everything before entering into systemic circulation is liberation. ठीक है अब जब solid drug देते हैं and you are taking the drug or if you're taking a syrup as well, it needs to get solubilized. It is a soluble form, so it will melt into your body and it will start penetrating that part. So you can skip. अब अगर आप syrup दिए तो liberation will be much more quicker. It will only have to disperse in your solution that is present in your stomach or in your intestines, and it can get absorbed much more quickly. So coming to factors influencing drug liberation, as I was telling you, the first factor will be physical properties. Physical property of the drug का मतलब ये है, think of it in this way. If you give a tablet, that tablet has to first disintegrate into smaller particles. It has to get solubilized in any liquid of your body. Then it will get penetrated into systemic circulation where it is getting absorbed or it is moving towards absorption. Okay. On the other hand, if you are giving a liquid like a syrup, it will be much more easier for the drug to get absorbed. All right. The physical property makes a big difference, whether it is solid or if you are giving capsule as well. वो capsule पहले disintegrate होना बाहर का, then those particles will be exposed to your inner GIT. Then from your GIT, those particles will get absorbed. It will take more time. Whereas if you give something which is already in liquid, hopefully in a lipophilic form, where it is soluble in fat very easily, it will get absorbed very easily because of that. Liberation goal ये है कि you are trying to facilitate absorption as much as possible. You are trying to make the process, or you are trying to decrease the time it takes for the drug from the point you take the drug to the point it is getting absorbed inside your body. Absorbed in the sense into your blood. Okay, you're trying to decrease the time. The better a drug is at liberation, the quicker you'll see the effect. Okay, almost always. Okay? Again, absorption will come into picture, but more often than not, if a drug has good liberation, the onset of action will be quicker as well. Okay? Then there is solubility. Solubility का मतलब ये है, if you have two drugs, ठीक है, let's suppose both of them are solid or both of them are set, ठीक है, keeping the formulation the same, ठीक है, the type of formulation the same. यहाँ पर if you have one which is highly lipid soluble versus the other which is water soluble, it will take more time for that water soluble drug to get liberated and it will take more time for it to get absorbed compared to a lipid soluble drug, because most of your body's membranes have a good amount of lipid in them. If you are giving a lipophilic drug, something that gets absorbed into lipids very easily, it will be easier for the drug to get liberated, get solubilized and get absorbed. Okay, so highly lipid soluble drugs disintegrate much more faster than water soluble drugs as well. So that solubility makes a big difference in this. All right, there is that. if you're not understanding anything, or if you want me to repeat anything, tell me now. Okay, you can stop me at any time in between if you're not understanding anything. Then there is particle size. So first we told about physical property of the drug, whether it is solid, liquid, capsule, whatever it is, whether it is a tablet or a syrup or a lozenge or maybe whatever it is. Then we talked about solubility, wherein I told you highly lipid soluble drugs will get liberated and they'll get disintegrated quicker than water soluble drugs. Then we come to particle size. Now particle size का मतलब ये है, let's suppose you are comparing two capsules. Okay. Now, in these two capsules, imagine both of them have the same drug. Okay. Imagine both of them have ondansetron. अच्छा, आप लोगों को ondansetron मालूम की नहीं की? Let's suppose it has some antibiotic. Okay. Let's suppose it has clarithromycin, or it has some antibiotic. Okay. यहाँ पर in one capsule, let's suppose this is capsule in capsule A and this is capsule B. अब कैप्सूल ए में पार्टिकल्स जो है आर दिस स्मॉल, ठीक है, एंड कैप्सूल बी में पार्टिकल्स आर ऑफ दिस साइज. Now, which one do you think will get liberated faster and get absorbed easily? Obviously, it will be particles present in capsule A. Why is that? Because the surface area to volume ratio of A is much more higher. Uska surface area is higher compared to volume, and the smaller the particle, okay, it will take lesser time to disintegrate. It is already very small. Sometimes the particle is so small that it need not get disintegrated altogether. Even if it has to get disintegrated, each particle has to do less work. It will take lesser time for that particle to get disintegrated because it is already having a very small mass. Okay, अगर आप इतने बड़े पार्टिकल को डिसइंटीग्रेट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं into this size versus if you're trying to disintegrate a particle which is of this size into this, which one do you think will be quicker? This one will be obviously quicker because it has less work to do. The same way, the smaller a particle is, it will get disintegrated quicker and it will get dissolved quicker as well compared to larger particles. You have to remember that liberation rate is not just about disintegrating the particle. You have to get dissolved as well so as to facilitate absorption. You are doing whatever you can so that absorption can become faster. All right. So that is how particle size will play a big role. The larger the particle, the slower the liberation will be and slower absorption will be eventually. The smaller the particle, more often than not. Now, again, if you have, let's suppose, a big particle which is lipophilic versus a small particle versus which is hydrophilic or which is lipophobic, example, again, variation will come. But still, if you keep all the parameters same except particle size, let's suppose both of them have the same solubility and both of them are lipophilic and both of them, are in the same physical property. In that time, the smaller one of the two drugs will get liberated quickly and it will get dissolved quickly. Then the fourth property, the fourth factor that will influence drug liberation will be drug formulation itself. What do I mean by this? Now, any therapeutically useful drug can become useless if it is made in a bad formulation. इसका मतलब क्या है? For example, let's suppose आप calcium supplement prescribe करें एक patient को. Some random patient has been prescribed calcium supplementation, and there are two patients, and one is given calcium plus calcium phosphate. So in this, what will happen is you are giving calcium plus calcium phosphate. Okay. Ab, this calcium phosphate acts as a diluent. Okay. Let's suppose combination tablet there, and it is not necessary that diluent needs to be a liquid. Okay. यहाँ पर diluent लिख रहा है, but it can also be additional particle, additional substance in the tablet that is helping the main drug get diluted. यहाँ पर आप mainly calcium से substitute कर रहे हैं. Calcium phosphate is only helping calcium get inside your body, right? तो उसको diluent बोल रहे हैं आप. Now let's suppose someone is having calcium deficiency, hypocalcemia, and उनको आप calcium plus calcium phosphate दिए. There is a good chance that this fellow will cause higher toxicity when compared to, let's suppose another patient is getting ये patient A को दिए, imagine. Let's suppose this is being given to patient A, and to patient B, you are giving calciferol, sorry, not calcium, calciferol. Okay, calciferol. I'm getting confused between calcium and calciferol combination. So calciferol plus, let's suppose the diluent here is lactose. यहाँ पर डिफरेंस इसलिए आता क्योंकि ये कॉम्बिनेशन जो है, ये पेशेंट को जो कॉम्बिनेशन दे रहे हैं कैल्सिफेरॉल प्लस कैल्शियम फॉस्फेट, दिस कैन कॉज टॉक्सिसिटी इन द पेशेंट, whereas in patient B, calciferol plus lactose has no toxic effects altogether. It is almost devoid of toxicity altogether. ठीक है, अब in no doubt you are giving calciferol to both of these patients. एक में आप diluent calcium phosphate यूज कर रहे हैं and एक पे diluent lactose यूज कर रहे हैं. यहाँ पर the difference comes in the formulation. Depending on what you are using in the formulation, it can either be toxic or it can be very beneficial. Calciferol plus calcium phosphate अगर आप दिए पेशेंट को, so there is a good chance that it might cause toxicity, overload of calcium, and it can cause higher toxicity compared to calciferol and lactose. ठीक है, as such आप calciferol vitamin D इसलिए दे रहे हैं ताकि calcium can do its work better, and absorption of calcium can also be influenced in a way. अब आप calcium plus calcium phosphate, sorry, calciferol plus calcium phosphate अगर दिए, so that can lead to toxicity. Excessive amount of calcium being retained in your body, or excessive amount of calcium being absorbed inside your body from your food, or just being retained in general, that can be a problem. Whereas agar aap sirf calciferol diye, make sure that the patient is on a good diet and you are giving lactose as a diluent in this calciferol, that will have no toxicity as such. So that can also affect drug liberation. There is a specific branch of pharmacology called biopharmaceutics that will study only this. Technically, it's a branch of pharmaceutics, but उसको कभी-कभी pharmacology में भी वो कर देते हैं. ठीक है, biopharmaceutics that will specifically study how these formulations are affecting the body, whether they are toxic or whether they are beneficial. Sometimes you can have some additive effects and synergistic effects because of these formulations as well. We'll discuss what is additive and synergistic effect later on. But essentially, drug formulation also makes a big difference. If you have a bad drug combination, drug liberation can be harmful, and drug liberation will also be improper. If you have a good formulation which is facilitating absorption very well and it's getting liberated very easily, that will obviously help in drug liberation. That will improve drug liberation even more, and it will help in pushing for absorption. It will help in the drug getting absorbed easily. So here in both the cases, you are trying to get calciferol inside your body. Whether you are doing it with lactose or calcium phosphate will make a difference. Calcium phosphate se kare to, it can cause toxicity. If you're doing it with lactose, there'll be no problem altogether. So those are the 4 factors that are affecting drug liberation. One was physical property of the drug, whether it is a solid or liquid or whatever it is. Then solubility, whether it is lipophilic or hydrophilic. Okay, water loving है या lipid loving है. Lipid loving है बोले तो easily absorb होता. ठीक है. Then particle size, the smaller the particle size, the easier it will be for that particle to get disintegrated and dissolve faster into your body. Then there is drug formulation. Depending on what formulation you are using, it can either be toxic or it can be beneficial. Okay. Now coming to drug absorption. Now I'll explain drug absorption and bioavailability together because the factors affecting both of them are very similar. All right. So I hope you understood what is drug liberation. If you want me to repeat any particular part, please feel free to ask right now. Oh. Okay. So drug absorption is essentially the movement of the drug from the site of administration by crossing a few barriers, okay, into bloodstream. So essentially, आप क्या कर रहे हैं? Let's suppose You give a certain tablet to a patient, it orally. Okay, it is entering into the person's mouth. It is going through the esophagus. It is entering your stomach, and finally it is entering into your intestines. ठीक है, small intestine, larger intestine. वहाँ पर mainly a drug absorption हो रहा. Sometimes you will have drugs being absorbed in your stomach, but most of the drugs will get absorbed in your intestines because I just explained the other day that your intestines have much more surface area for absorption, and you can like scientists can target it in such a way. Whoever is making the drug, okay, they can target the drug or they can modify the drug in such a way that it will only get disintegrated near the intestine so that it has more area to cover. Okay, because the intestine has such a large surface area, there is a good chance that more amount of drug will get absorbed through the intestines compared to stomach in the same amount of time. Okay, because जब तक आपका intestines तक पहुंचता है, it will be disintegrated to smaller particles, and those smaller particles can individually attach to microvilli and slowly get absorbed inside compared to stomach. Okay, there are a few drugs that will get absorbed in stomach as well, but few, not many. Now, in any case, आप drug absorption जब बात करते हैं, this drug is first getting liberated into smaller particles. Then it is coming across a membrane. Now, ये membrane is generally your what you call inner lumen of the intestine, sometimes stomach. Now, in any case, these particles have to penetrate through this particular membrane and eventually enter a blood vessel. Okay, these people, the job of this drug is to finally enter into these blood vessels. Okay, so that it can enter systemic circulation where it will get distribution, where it will get distributed. Okay, so that process is essentially absorption, the process in which a liberated drug, okay, so drug movement essentially from site of administration. अब administration site आपका orally रहता, अगर आप tablet दिए तो administration site will be oral. If you are giving an injection, the site of administration will be IV, wherever you are giving the injection, whether you are giving it in the lower back or you are giving it on the arm, wherever you are giving, that will be the site of administration. Okay, of any drug. Let's suppose you are what do you call rubbing a gel on a patient. Okay, let's suppose you are rubbing it on the forearm of the drug. That will be the site of administration. Okay, so site of administration can change quite a lot. अगर आप rectal drug दे रहे तो the rectum will be the site of administration. That the process in which that drug is moving from the site of administration wherever it is on the body to systemic circulation, okay, into the blood, that process will be called absorption. अब आप एक बार site of administration पे drug देने के बाद first it will get liberated, then it will undergo absorption. All right, so that is the basic definition as such of drug absorption. We'll look at bioavailability first, then we'll look at the factors affecting both of them. So what is bioavailability? Simply put, by a definition, bioavailability is the fraction of drug that is reaching systemic circulation in an unchanged form. Okay, this is essentially done for oral drugs. Okay, because bioavailability for IV drugs will be 100%. इसका मतलब क्या है मैं आपको भी समझाता हूँ. Essentially, bioavailability is the fraction of drug reaching systemic circulation in an unchanged form when given orally. Okay. Now, I'll explain it to you what does this statement define and what the statement means. The other day we were discussing about paracetamol, right? So out of a 500 mg tablet, I told you the main drug, the active pharmaceutical ingredient will be only 325 mg. Okay. अब 325 mg patient को दे रहे drug, you are giving a tablet which has 325 mg of the drug inside it. Now your body will not register or your body will not know that it has been given 325 mg. It will only know the amount of drug that is reaching blood. Okay? Once it is entering your GIT, there is a good chance that the whole drug can get it cannot get absorbed and it will completely get eliminated out of your body. It will not get metabolized, it will simply be excreted out of your body. So by that logic, your body has never experienced the drug altogether until and unless this drug is getting liberated and it is getting absorbed. At that point, whatever amount of drug is reaching your systemic circulation in an unchanged form, okay? तो बिफोर गेटिंग मेटाबोलाइज्ड इज व्हाट इट मींस अनचेंज फॉर्म का मतलब ये है आप जो फॉर्म में दे रहे ड्रग लेट्स सपोज द केमिकल कॉम्पोजिशन ऑफ दैट ड्रग लुक्स समथिंग लाइक दिस ठीक है एंड आफ्टर अंडरगोइंग मेटाबॉलिज्म इट इज बिकमिंग लाइक दिस ठीक है आई एम ओनली गिविंग एन एग्जांपल हियर initially it was in this star like shape and once it undergoes metabolism it is becoming this triangular shape okay and imagine this part of the drug has the main effect. So in case of paracetamol, this part of the drug is the one that will decrease body temperature and it will slightly decrease body pain. So आपके blood के अंदर how many particles of this star-shaped substance is coming into your body? ठीक है? That will be registered as the drug that is being given. That will be bioavailability of the drug. अब in this scenario, आप 100% 325 mg दिए, ठीक है? You as a nurse know that one tablet has 325 mg of drug. For you, that is 100%. Okay? Ideally, what you would want is all 325 mg of the drug to go inside your systemic circulation. Okay? That is why I told you, IV drugs ka bioavailability is 100%. Why did I say this? Let's suppose you give a drug of 50 mg dissolved in the vial of your injection. ठीक है जो 5 ml इंजेक्शन देते हैं आप या 2 ml इंजेक्शन देते हैं उसके अंदर let's suppose 50 mg is dissolved because you are skipping the process of drug liberation and drug absorption and you're directly injecting into the patient's systemic circulation. The bioavailability of the drug is essentially 100% because जितना ड्रग बाहर है उतना ही ड्रग आप अंदर दे दे रहे. I'll repeat once again. In IV drugs, ठीक है in case of intravenous drugs, whatever amount of drug is present in the vial, अब आप जो vial देते हैं, completely is not the drug, okay? It will have what you call again excipients बोलते हैं उसको. उसके अंदर जो main API रहता वो थोड़ा सा रहता. In that it will be mentioned whichever vial you take, it will mention 2 mg of dopamine or maybe 5 mg of dopamine or whatever the drug is. ठीक है? Let's suppose it has some 50 mg of some A drug. ठीक है? Dissolved in 5 ml of liquid. Imagine it is dissolved in 5 ml of NS or whatever the solution is. You are essentially withdrawing the whole of the 5 ml from that vial, 5 ml to ml, जितना भी inject कर रहे हैं आप, and you are injecting it completely into the blood of the patient. Meaning there is no loss at all. ठीक है? There are no losses. आप जितना ड्रग है उतना पूरा डिलीवर कर दे रहे पेशेंट के ब्लड में. So because of that, bioavailability of IV drugs is very close to 100%. Very rarely, a little bit here and there will occur, but more often than not, it will be 100%. So that should give you a picture of what I am talking about. Okay? Oral drugs में, ठीक है, whatever you are giving orally, आप सिरप दे दो या फिर टैबलेट दे दो, whatever you are giving orally. अब let's suppose paracetamol के केस में आप 325 mg मेन ड्रग दे रहे. That is 100% for you. Okay, you know that 100% of the drug is equal to 325 mg. So ideally what you would want is all 325 mg is getting inside the patient's blood. But that does not happen. Okay, practically that will not happen. Let's suppose I say that a particular formation, let's suppose I am giving a statement. Crocin, okay, Crocin is one brand name of paracetamol. Crocin has bioavailability of 80%. इसका मतलब क्या है? Only 80% out of this 325 mg is reaching your blood. Okay, so 325 into 80 by 100 करो, कितना होता? 240 plus 200, 260 mg. ठीक है? इसका मतलब क्या है? Out of 325 mg that you are giving, only 260 mg is reaching the patient's blood in tablet form. ठीक है? मतलब टैबलेट अंदर नहीं चले आती आपके ब्लड के. When you give the tablet to the patient, it will get disintegrated into smaller particles, it will get dissolved. That will enter the patient's blood. यहाँ पर you can clearly see the difference. यहाँ पर बायोअवेलेबिलिटी हैज बिकम 80% एंड स्टिल दैट इज प्रीटी गुड कंपेयर्ड टू सेवरल ड्रग्स, ठीक है। थोड़े ड्रग्स की बायोअवेलेबिलिटी विल बी समवेयर बिटवीन 30 to 70%। इसका मतलब क्या है, आप जितना टोटल ड्रग दे रहे हैं उसमें से ओनली 30 to 70%। When I tell total drug, I mean API, okay? I'm not talking about excipients. I'm not talking about those fillers, that tasting agent, that coloring agent, वो पूरा बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ। I'm specifically talking about the active pharmaceutical ingredient that will have a pharmacological effect. So in case of paracetamol, it will have an effect of decreasing body temperature. In case of an antibiotic, it will have a specific effect of killing bacteria or stopping their growth. In case of an anti-cancer drug, it will go and target cancer cells. Okay? That will be the active pharmaceutical ingredient. Whatever you are giving other than that in the tablet or in the syrup will be excipients. मैं उसकी बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. In our scenario, I'm talking 100% of the drug, that is API. You are giving 325 mg, you are thinking that I'm giving 325 mg, but your body is only absorbing 80% of that drug, and that 80% is reaching into your blood. Okay, that will be your bioavailability. Okay, the fraction of drug, so fraction in this scenario will be 80%. Fraction of drug reaching systemic circulation in an unchanged form. Now I'm not telling 260 mg will get absorbed immediately at the same time. ठीक है, पूरा एक ही मिनट में नहीं हो जाता. It will happen over a long period of time, over 3, 4, 6 hours. That is why you will see the effect of the drug for 5, 6 hours. ठीक है, slowly a few particles are getting liberated, few of them are getting dissolved, few of them are getting absorbed, and finally some of them will reach a systemic circulation, which will start showing effect. Once they have shown their effect, as they keep on moving around in your body, at one point or the other, they will reach your liver. Okay, that is natural. Blood is flowing through all organs of your body, and at one point, that blood carrying the drug will also reach your liver. इसका मतलब क्या है? लिवर को पहुंचा जब मेटाबोलाइज हो जाता, at that time this unchanged form will change. So that is not considered as bioavailability. Bioavailability will be unchanged form of the drug that is reaching the fraction of the drug that is reaching systemic circulation in unchanged form when given orally. Okay, that is bioavailability. I hope you understood the concept of bioavailability. If you have doubts or if you want me to repeat again, please feel free to ask, because this concept is very, very important for you. Bioavailability and the
Yeah.
factors affecting bioavailability can come for a long answer.
So excuse me, sir. So this concept of unchanged form, this I didn't got.
अनचेंज फॉर्म का मतलब क्या है? अब मैं जो एक्टिव फार्मास्यूटिकल इंग्रेडिएंट दे रहा हूँ, जो मेन पैरासिटामोल ड्रग है, लेट्स सपोज both of them are all of them as chemicals, right? They are chemicals essentially. अलग अलग फॉर्म में अलग अलग स्ट्रक्चर्स के केमिकल्स ही है, ठीक है. When yesterday I told you about metabolism, a process called metabolism that is occurring in your body, I told you it is called biotransformation. उसका मतलब क्या है? एक form will be transformed into another form, and that second form, this form that is called a metabolite. ठीक है. This form might have or might not have any pharmacological effect. इसका मतलब क्या है? Depending on the drug, sometimes these metabolites will have some function, or else they will have no function, or sometimes they can also be toxic to the body. I'll repeat once again. आप जब भी एक ड्रग दे रहे बॉडी में, that is a chemical that you are administering into the patient. ठीक है, that chemical is getting liberated, it is getting dissolved, and it is going into your systemic circulation. That is in some chemical form. Let's suppose that chemical form is in the shape of this star. ठीक है, I'm only giving you an example. Okay, let's suppose that chemical form is in the shape of a star. That star is showing a pharmacological effect. So that star, in case of your, this thing, paracetamol, will have an effect of decreasing body temperature. Whenever that star is undergoing metabolism in liver, it is transforming into a triangle. Okay, it is changing its form. This is the unchanged form of drug. Okay, जो star है, that is the unchanged form. That is what you have given the patient. Okay, once it is changing, that will not be bioavailability anymore. I am talking in this sense will be the total number of particles which are in star form, which are reaching systemic circulation before changing into triangle. That will be bioavailability. अब जितना भी ड्रग दे रहे उसमें से कितना ड्रग before changing its form. Now, after changing the form, it might lose its efficacy, it might become poisonous, or it might have no effect altogether. That is why we are not considering what will happen after metabolism. We are concerned with what happened before metabolism, and we are concerned with what unchanged form of the drug will show pharmacological effect inside your body. Later on, we'll come across concepts where we have prodrugs and all, but we'll leave that for now. But essentially, in bioavailability, you are looking at the unchanged form of the drug that is showing pharmacological effect after it is entering systemic circulation. I hope that clears your doubt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Any doubts? Feel free to ask, because this is a very important concept. All right.
No, sir.
कोई डाउट नहीं है पक्का ठीक है. I'll stop here for now. Open your pharmacology textbooks and read.